Jesus wants to tell you, your tears have not been wasted. My child, come closer for a moment. Put down the weight you have been carrying. You do not have to explain everything to me. You do not have to pretend that you are strong. I already know. I know about the nights when you turned your face toward the pillow so nobody would hear you cry. I know about the moments when you smiled in front of others while your heart was breaking inside. I know about the prayers you whispered when you had no words left. And I want you to hear this today. Your tears have not been wasted. Not one of them. You may think that nobody noticed. You may think that your prayers disappeared into silence. You may wonder why you had to endure something you never deserved. You may even be asking, Jesus, if you were with me, why did you allow me to go through this? My child, I have heard that question, and I have not turned away from you because you asked it. I have never been frightened by your pain. I have never been disappointed by your tears. When you cried, I was not looking at you with judgment. I was looking at you with compassion. You have spent so much time wondering whether your life is moving forward. But sometimes, what looks like a delay is a season in which your heart is being prepared. Sometimes you cannot see what I am doing because you are standing inside the middle of the storm. You see the rain. You see the darkness. You see the broken pieces. But I see beyond the storm. I see what you cannot see yet. I see the person you are becoming. I see the strength being formed inside you. I see the wisdom growing through experiences you never wanted. I see the compassion that will one day allow you to comfort someone who is standing exactly where you once stood. Your pain is not your identity. Your tears are not your destiny. And this chapter is not the whole story. You thought the tears meant you were losing, but sometimes tears are simply proof that your heart is still alive. You cared. You loved. You hoped. You believed. And when something precious was broken, you felt it deeply. That does not make you weak. It makes you human. So stop being ashamed of the tears you cried. Stop apologizing for having a tender heart. Stop believing that because you broke down once, you would never be strong again. There were moments when you thought you could not survive another disappointment. Yet here you are. Still breathing, still searching, still hoping, still listening, and perhaps you do not realize how much strength it took to get here. My child, there were days you thought you were walking alone, but you were not alone. There were nights you thought nobody was listening, but I heard you. There were moments when you whispered, "Please help me," even when you could barely speak. I heard you. There were prayers you could not finish. I heard those too. You do not need perfect words for me to understand your heart. Sometimes your tears were the prayer. Sometimes your silence was the prayer. Sometimes all you could say was, "My name." And that was enough to tell me what your heart needed. Do not measure my presence by how quickly your circumstances change. A difficult season does not mean that I have abandoned you. A closed door does not automatically mean that you have been forgotten. A delay does not mean that your story is over. There are things you cannot understand while you are living through them. One day, you may look back and realize that the chapter you begged me to remove from your story became the chapter that changed you forever. You may understand why certain people had to leave, why certain plans failed, why certain opportunities disappeared, why some prayers received a not yet. And perhaps you will realize that what you thought was rejection was sometimes protection. What you thought was an ending was sometimes redirection. What you thought was punishment was sometimes preparation. But today, You do not need to understand everything. You only need to keep walking. One step, one prayer, one day at a time. Do not demand from yourself the strength to carry tomorrow. Tomorrow has not arrived. Carry today. And when tomorrow comes, you will receive new strength for tomorrow. You have been trying to solve your entire life in one night. You have been lying awake, thinking about money, family, relationships, your future, your mistakes, your responsibilities, and all the things that could go wrong. My child, breathe.